Hello there, yarn lovers. It's Gary, and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on the west coast of Canada. How are you all doing? I hope you're well and staying safe. It is Thursday evening, February the 27th, 2025. And where has the year flown by? We only have today and tomorrow, and then February's gone. Yes. I'm really excited about this video. I have got many things to talk to you about, but before I get going, if you happened across this video for the very first time, I've set this channel up to talk about all of my yarny adventures. That's in knitting, crochet, as well as where I purchase my acquisitions from, yarn and tools of my craft. So if that's of interest, then please stick around. And for those who are coming back, I want to say welcome back. Thank you so much for answering in the last video. I've read comments about what you've been working on, but more specifically, I asked about like whether or not you had lost a needle or a crochet implement in the past, and where were some of the funny places that you discovered where they were. So I had a bit of a chuckle in the last video, so thank you for leaving me those stories. Yeah, so what have I got for you today? I've got some finished objects, otherwise known as FOs. I think there's one whip that I want to talk to you about, which is work in progress. And then catch you up a little bit on Mood Board Mel make along that I'm hosting. Well, that's what a Mel stands for. And yeah, just other bits and pieces. So it'll be slightly eclectic, and let's get going, shall we? So I'll start off by talking about my mood board mail that I'm hosting. It is ending on March the 1st, 2025, which is only 2 days away. And I think I'm going to be dropping this video probably on March the 1st. So this will be the last reminder in the hours that you get to watch this video that if you haven't yet submitted me your things, which are your snapshots or photographs, attach them to an email and send them to me, then this is the last and final call for those things. Now, what I'm going to do is in the description box, I'm going to put the list of the people who have entered. And if you don't see your name in the description box, but you believe that you sent me your entry, then please do resend it to me again. And I won't get the chance to do the editing anyway straight on March the 1st. I'll probably get a chance to do it a few days after, so March the 3rd or whatever. So if you believe that you've sent me your entry in and it doesn't appear to be in the list in the description box, then please do go ahead and send it in again, and we'll add that to the video, which will be showcasing the slideshow presentation of everyone's entry. Yeah, so okay, because we're at almost the final days of the mood board mail, I won't go too much into the details on the I guess what's required, but what I can talk about is my final results, because for my finished object is done, and I have a mood board that I've created which resembles my fade or my rainbow superpower. So I will get Editing Gary to put the mood board up here so we can take a look at where it all began with my yarn on the mood board. And my special power is in this rainbow called, what have I called it again? It is the Adaptive Chameleon. Right, okay. And so as you can see, there are lots of minis in there. There are bright colors, Easter egg colors, neon colors, and I'm using full hanks as well in a nice neutral grayish, kind of brown grayish color. It's called whole grain. So I thought that was a nice bouncing board for all of those colors to pop and jump out of. So yeah, I chose my pattern for the make along, and it was just recapping the pattern. It was in this book here called Painting Shawls by Stephen West. And okay, so this is the pattern that I chose. It's called Painting Bricks. And in the book, it's this one here. As you can see, it's not outstretched. It's sort of wrapped around this model here, and she's looking very surprised. I really like the colors. I believe it might be the same color arrangement as this one as well. So you can see that more outstretched, and a beautiful stained glassy type looking in these colors that Stephen West has chosen. Very gothic. I like that very much. So that was a pattern that I thought would work really well with those minis. Hopefully they've been taken off. And the remnants of the minis are here in this little plastic bag that I had kept with me while I worked on the project together. That skein that I was talking to you about was the Malabrigo Ultimate Sock in the whole grain color. So that's what I have left of 2 hanks. I used 1 complete hank, and then this is what's left. So I'm going to say 1 2/3, and 1/3 of the hank is left from the second hank. The others were all various different minis that came from either sets. Some I had purchased along my journeys when I went traveling. Others were gifts to me that were sent in from friends from the channel, and I put them all into this shawl. So let's take a look at the painted bricks, shall we? And the colorway that I've called my superpower is the chameleon, adaptive chameleon. And here it is here, all finished and blocked, and all the ends have been woven in. Da, 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 da. Oh, I absolutely love this. It's very light and airy, and it has an interesting border, which I really enjoyed. From the border onwards, like this part, it was more of an easier knit because I had used stitch markers, and I could see where the stitches were, so I just was following pattern. So it was easy to like remember this one. The most of the central part here in the bricks, I had to do a lot of counting. And as you recall, if you saw, I think 2 updates ago, I was talking about this make, and I had done a miscount on the slip stitching. So I was off with my bricks and it wasn't lining up. So I ripped back with the suggestion of everyone from the comment section saying, you won't feel the pain after you rip it back and you rework it back to the point where the mistake was made. And they were right, because I felt very accomplished. I felt the reward of it, and there was no pain after I'd made the decision. As soon as the needle came out, I kept on knitting because I wanted to get to the next color, and this held my interest throughout the whole piece, was to get to the next mini. So yeah, okay, beautiful, beautiful. I absolutely love it. Maybe I should wear it now. I know it's not going to really work with what I'm wearing, but super, super drapey. I use my Chagu stainless steel interchangeable knitting needles, and I believe it was, let me just look at the pattern, because I did follow the pattern for the knitting needle suggestion, and it was for the fingering weight size, which was a 3.75 millimeter. And the cable that I used to begin with was 50 inch. I actually started off a bit smaller. I started with I think it was a 32 inch. Then I invested in like going to the 50 inch cable. And towards the end of it, when it got really long and bunched up, I was using an extendable 22 inch on my already 50 inch. So it became a 72 inch cable. And I thought that was more reassuring for me to have that excess cable so that the piece could just slide a little bit better and it wasn't bunching up or threatening to fall off. I did also use some beautiful needle stoppers that were a generous gift from Edith, and these are the beautiful little needle stopper gingerbread men. They're adorable. I love them so much. Okay, so I have put away several different colors from minis because originally when I made the video doing the guidelines to this mood board mal, I set aside 3 different color choices that I could go in, directions that I could go in. I chose this one here, but I have the others still in bags, and I think I might go through and choose another pattern in the painting shawls and keep those minis and those color choices together. So look for that in the upcoming future. Yeah. Okay, so I will move on to the next finished object. Oh, before I do that, a little bit more about the mood board mal and the slideshow presentation. The entries that have come through have just blown my mind. I really appreciate the time and energy that every entry has or entrant has made on their pieces. There are things in there that are obviously hours and hours and hours of work, and you will see that in the next, I guess when I put the presentation together, early March, and I am so eager to show it all off because they're magnificent, and we'll discover what superpowers some of the viewership has who have entered, and I can't wait to share that with you. Okay, I'm going to stop the camera because the next thing that I want to get is behind the chair, and I'll talk to you about what Hank's wearing as well. Hang on a moment. Okay, I'm back, and I did forget to mention what Hank was wearing, and he is sporting a crocheted piece. It is something that is not to a pattern. I wanted to do some filet testing and stitch work in this beautiful Winter Glow. It is a hobby yarn, and I believe it's considered a 4-weight, but I treated it more like a 3-weight yarn. It is a woolly style yarn, and I absolutely love how the colors bleed in. So it's very boho chic and has that watery color feel. Yeah, so it's a very, very long scarf, and I've just wrapped it around Hank once with these long tails. So it gives a mock kind of cowl with a scarf kind of styling. And yeah, I really enjoyed making it. So that was finished, I think maybe, I'm going to say maybe a year and a half ago. Yeah, it's been a finished work for some time now. Next finished object that I just wove in my last ends, I'm going to say Sunday, so that's about 4 days ago, and I did some video of it because it was really late at night. I won't be able to show it all here in the viewfinder or this composition here, but I've got some footage of it. But what I have is the Nature's Walk blanket completed. It is a crocheted pattern by Sandra Paul, and what I had to do was I had to do I think it ended up being a 2-row setup for the border, and then 9 rows of work, crochet work. So that's the border there. It's in a color called toasted almond or almond, and it has little love hearts all the way through and a little picot edging. Really suits the motifs in the blanket. I have some clips and footage of it on our bed, and you'll see the extent of how big it is. I don't recall the size, but it fits a queen size bed. The colors, if you're interested in knowing what colors I had used in this blanket, I will link the video down below where I talk about the colors. Now it is in a full update video, so it will be time-stamped to around, I think, I'll leave the timestamp down in the description box as well. So you'll see if you want to just jump to that area where I talk about each of the colors. It's using all DK weight yarn, and they're all economic yarns. I think it worked out very nice. It's a lovely soft blanket, has some weight to it. Each of these squares were washed and blocked individually before they were stitched together. So it's smelling quite lavenderish. Yes. Okay, so I will cut now to those clips where you can see this all sprawled out on the bed and hopefully more of the designs. Okay, I'll see you back soon. Okay, the next finished object that I have to share with you is a call to another challenge that I was invited to join in on, and that was the hobby hashtag No Shades of Grey. It ended on February the 16th, 2025, and I haven't shown it here on an update video. I have made little video clips of it, presenting it done and finished, but I haven't done it in this type of format, and I want to show you because it is amazing, and I want to talk to you about it as well because I think I'm going to do another one of these, and I'll try something a bit different, and I'll talk to you about that when I get to show you the piece. Now, the pattern is called Brickland Shawl, and it is by the Grey Sheep Company, or the Grey Sheep Co. It is a knitted pattern. It uses, oh well, I chose to use 5 different colors, but you can do it the way that you want to. Perhaps maybe you can do a flat color in the back and then choose multiple change outs in colors. I can't show you the pattern because it is directly like showcasing all the details with how to work the pattern. But what I can do is show you a clip up here of where I saw it as a sample in a knit store, and that's where I picked up the pattern. It's just a 2-pager, and hopefully Editing Gary has put up the little sample there of the knitted piece from the shop that I went in and took a photograph of it. So, okay, here it is here. What do you think? Oh, it's pretty good, isn't it? Now, I won't be able to wear it because I have something on right now, but it is a wonderful design that has, it's like it is slip stitching, but then your slip stitch travels over other stitches. So it's like cable slip stitching, if that makes any sense. And I used a solid color for the main and then stripes of change out colors. And then with that slip stitch that comes every so often in the rows, I switched out so that you could see it contrasting over whatever background color there was. So yeah, I really like it a lot. It's done in a wonderful yarn that Hobby has a collection of, actually 2 separate collections, and the first one is the Winter Glow, kind of like this one, but this Winter Glow is the multicolored one, and these ones that I had used are solids, and in between I dispersed in colors from another Hobby collection called Woody Tweed. Yeah, and in that, as you can see, it's a tube. You make it up in the round, so you're just knit around and around and around, and so there's no real joining there. You just see a little bit from the last stitch and the first stitch as it goes back around. You finish around. There might be a little bit of a color jolting or jogging. I tried to do a technique that eliminated a lot of the visual kind of jog there, and it seemed to work. Yeah, so this was my call for hashtags No Shades of Grey. You can wear it either way, like this way up or the opposite way up, depending on what color you want at the bottom. And the next iteration that I want to try of this piece, because you can see all the floats on the inside, so it's ribbed on either end and then it goes into the pattern, and then on the inside it's all the exposed floats of the colors that are being carried across. I was thinking, rather than having ribbing on the top and bottom, the next time I do it, I'm going to do a tube that is double the length of this with no knit or purl ribbing, and then I'll probably do a provisional cast on so that when I finish the complete tube, I'll turn it inside on itself, so folding it into the tube, and then I will Kitchener stitch across to seam it all closed. That way it'll be doubly thick and warm, and you won't have the exposed floats. It'll be all contained or encapsulated in the actual tube itself. So it's a tube and then a tube. A tube in a tube. Like a, what do they call those? A torus, maybe? It's a torus. Yeah, so the next colors that I chose, because I was wanting to try the pattern again and do what I just mentioned, but I have some more of the hobby. I'm housing it in this wonderful project bag. It's got ABBA on it, and it's one of their album covers. I love ABBA. And this was a gift from Judy. Thank you, Judy. I love this gift. Now, she has a YouTube channel as well, and her YouTube channel is called Judy's Witch Piece Crafts. And yeah, I absolutely love it. So what I've got in this is, I want to do one in a dark charcoal as my main color background. I'm choosing this Wool of the Andes from Knit Picks. It's a worsted weight, and the color that I've chosen here is, does it give me a name? Bamboo Heather. It's a nice green that it's heathered. Well, bamboo heathered, right? It's a heathered color. And this one here has lost its ball band, but it's woody tweed, and I'm not sure what the color is anymore of this. It's gone. So yeah, I think those. I have a little bit of this gray here, which I don't know what this one is. It's a mystery yarn. So I'm going to be putting some gray into it. And this color here, which is also from Knit Picks, it is called Chroma, and that's worsted. In this gold, and then around here there are some other colors that it's going into, more of kind of like a yellowish green color. So those. And my last one is a healthy leftover of a woody tweed in a bright electric blue. So those are all the colors that I will be putting in to my next one, which is called the Bricklands Cowl. All patterns will be down in the description box, and also any YouTubers that I may mention. Okay, so I'll put that away, and the next thing that I've got to talk to you about is a whip that I've gotten out from, it was left in a box and it was put up on the top of the shelves there. Now I feel like I am getting through a lot of these bigger projects, that the Nature's Walk is completed, and that this pattern now is done. I can go into some of those whips that have been hanging about and get those completed as well. So I'll just turn off the camera, pack this away, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to show you is the whip that had been sitting up there on the bookshelf for about 8 months, and I'm just starting it up on it again. And I'm crocheting the edge right now. I'm intending to wrap it up in a couple of days. And it's a project where I was going to frog it back, and I was going to reclaim the yarn for something a bit more satisfying. But then I spoke with Chad and he said, this would be a nice blanket for Pixel, our puppy. So I agreed. I thought, yeah, you know what? It's fine. She goes through things pretty quickly. And this one may last a little longer if we keep it upstairs. Her domain is downstairs, and anything that's down there, she will kind of rip to shreds. And upstairs, she's a little bit more like, that's, her daddy's domain. So she doesn't want to kind of like do anything that's going to damage her privileges up here. So yeah, this will stay up in the upstairs portion, and she can sleep on it. It's nice and soft. So here it is here. I'm going to have to like lean back so you can get to see this. It's, I'm going to say maybe 4 feet by 3 feet, if I'm guessing. And here it is here. Okay, there are several things that I don't like about it. It is a experiment blanket that I was using my Addy Express, which is a knitting machine, to create these tubes of knitted fabric, and then I was joining them together in the style of a log cabin blanket. Yeah, rectangle style. I know that you can get several different versions of the log cabin blanket. Some are just squares, some are squares within squares that you kind of like then patchwork together. But this one is a rectangular one, and it's very flimsy. I was hoping to do a large enough bedspread for like one of the beds here in the house, and we could use it as a bedspread, but it's very fluidy and it doesn't have any structure to it whatsoever. My crochet border is hopefully going to hold the structure a bit better, but we'll see. And because it will be for Pixel, I think she will really like the feel of it. And that's nothing to say against the yarn whatsoever. I think it was the combination of the stitch fabric that it made with the Addy Express. It needed to be a lot more tighter, and I have a feeling that the pins or pegs that are on the Addy Express don't, unless you pull really, really tight and have the chance of it jumping the pegs, then yeah, it's not going to be tight enough for what I need it to be. So yeah, I'm just going to give this one to Pixel, our puppy. I do like the colors though. And let's talk about the yarn, shall we? Here was the intention initially, was to use all of these colors in a log cabin blanket and get it big enough to use in a bedspread. And these are all from Hirschner's. Now they're a combination of the Bohemian Romance collection and the Worsted 8 collection. So 8 ounces of worsted weight yarn, and it's super duper soft. It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn. So I'm going to use whatever's left in here to go ahead and crochet a blanket using all these colors together in a second attempt, so that I can choose my tension, and the hook size would be more compatible with what I want to have in the strength and integrity of the blanket. Okay, so that concludes what I've got to catch you up on with the things that I've been making and finished over the last little bit. And I'm going to shift gears. So if you're heading out because you just wanted to come for the yarny goodies, then thanks for coming. What's been going on here with the channel and with myself recently, I want to catch you up on some things. So I guess the barrier breakthrough that I had recently was I was invited to another channel to just hang out, just talk about some things. It ended up being an interview, and I want to thank Matt and Rebecca from Matt's Rock and Crochet. I'll include his channel down below in the description box. And I want to send out a heartfelt thank you to them for making me feel very comfortable. You may not be aware, but I do get anxious every time I press the play button on these videos and do the recordings. So Matt and Rebecca, we were talking about our work and what interests us. So I got to get to know them a little bit more. I'd seen them around the YouTube streets in other lives, and they were lovely people. So I was happy to just, you know, chill out with them for a little while. And I want to send them a big hello. Hi, Matt and Rebecca. Hope you're doing well. And if you do want to go across to watch the video or watch the interview, then go across and say hi that I sent you. And they have other content as well that I believe you'll enjoy, and give them a go. So yeah, the other thing that has arrived has been 2 happy mail. Again, from Christmas, there was a little bit of a delay because of the strike here in Canada. The Canada Post had like stopped work for, I think, I don't know, 30 days it was back in November to December. And one of the boxes took a roundabout way of getting to me. There's a story, but I will save that for another video. And yeah, so that will be coming up in the next little while as well. There's a box of yarn sitting here from Yarnspiration that I want to also share with you and show what colors are in there. It's more bitty yarn, which is from Red Heart. They had a 40% off sale on the bitty stripes, and I jumped at it and thought, oh yes, there are some colors that weren't available to me before when I was purchasing about maybe a month ago or 2 months ago. But this restock that they had meant that other colors were available, so I did purchase them for a pretty good steal, and I'll show you those as well. Now, that's probably all the yarny stuff that's going on for the channel. And on a more personal note, it's been super busy, as you have witnessed with my batch recordings. So I've been busy at my day job, and there's only been small windows of time that I've been able to do some recording. So I try and do a few at a go and then stretch them out over time. It's only temporary, hopefully, cross fingers, and I might be able to do some more regular based videos and not have to batch them. That way I think it's more kind of current in some sense, that you see me and you basically get to hear the story the next day or a few days later. There will be some trips that I will be making in the next future, or the near future. One of them is a short one to Vancouver for a concert, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'll disclose more on that after I get back and can talk to you about it's a music concert that I'm going to. And then further down in the summer, we have booked for a trip to Australia, and I haven't been back for 10 years. So I'll be going to see my folks, going to visit up with old friends, as well as see some new places. We're going north, and we haven't booked anything just yet for the destination up north, but we have decided on what place we want to go to, as in a general geographic spot. And there we'll kind of have our I think we're going to go for about 10 days. It's a message. So I'm really looking forward to that and seeing some sun, even though we're going in a time of year where South Australia or southern parts of Australia, like Victoria, my home state, it's kind of cold and chilly because they're kind of in the upswing from winter at that point. And it's generally wet and windy because I'm from a suburb that's around Melbourne. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to have to pack for that trip, because we will be seeing a bit of that weather, but then we'll also be going up to the tropics in Queensland, and that's where the weather will be a lot warmer. So not blistering warm in August, but like around the 30-degree temperature, which will be really nice. Or thereabouts, like maybe high 20s. Yeah, so what else can I tell you? I will love to take some footage of that along the way as well. What I stumble across with yarn. If there's any, like, I really want to get to Bendigo Woolen Mills in Victoria, but I don't know whether I'll have a chance to be anywhere near Bendigo. I'm hoping that we have a day trip somewhere like around that area, and I can just sort of persuade to stop the car. There's a store I want to go to, and then I'll jump in and visit Bendigo Woolen Mills. Yeah, I think that catches you up with everything that's happening around here. Pixel's doing well, my doggy. She's just had a trim because she's hypoallergenic, and she has she has hair, so it continues to grow, and we need to groom her, because if we let it go, she wouldn't be able to see through the bushy shag that comes out of her face. So we have to groom her, and she looks like a completely different dog when she comes back from the groomers. So that just happened about 2 weeks ago, and she's looking really, really cute right now because it's grown out a little bit, and we do like her when she's very fluffy and shaggy. So I think that's about it. Let's catch up again soon. I know that my next video might be the slideshow presentation, so I'm really looking forward to showing all the work here on the channel, and I want to thank everyone for joining in. And if you didn't get a chance to find out about this in time, or you're interested to join a make along, there will be another one that's happening in the spring. I'll probably announce it sometime in early April. And I like my mals to go on for at least 2 months or 2.5 months. And that gives us plenty of time to plan our projects, look around for yarn, get inspiration, and pick our own brains on what we're going to choose for colors. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. And if you want to catch that and build something for it or create something for it, then you're more than welcome. It's open to everyone. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.